Good evening, guys. Welcome to episode 3 of Joshin-Strike, or Counter Joshin, or Joshin. I don't know what this is at this stage, okay? But we've got the most beautiful man alive. We've got Eddie, okay? He's known as...
Settle down.
Okay. Dude. Apparently you won a lot of modeling tournaments. What are you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
They have to keep you off the screen in an observer role because they're afraid that everyone's going to get distracted, mate.
Big distraction. Massive distraction.
Like, you know.
But, yeah.
Anyways, how have you been? What have you been up to so far?
Well, so far, been pretty busy. Letty, if you know her, she's been in Australia, so been like sightseeing for her.
Yep.
And yeah, besides that, editing stuff, Counter-Strike stuff.
Yep.
How it is.
Yep. What sort of content you got prepared for us for this week? Any content, or you know, are you gonna beat Foggers' content? You know, the why Monacy is such a goat.
Yeah, Foggers' content is definitely something else.
Yeah.
But got some defrag edits coming up. I think you saw, or you might have seen the recent one pop up about like finding a team, and then James or Ruffleco with his content. Next video will be on strapbooks, related to strapbooks. Yeah.
Yep. So obviously your new team, the Art of War. How did that come to be? Because I do remember casting the Caraf's land at the Red Bull. Oh man, I forget where it is. It's with the Red Bull Arena. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, one of the universities.
Yeah, it's got that
UTS.
UTS, that's right. Yeah, UTS, that's right. So Art of War, you know, was that really an idea that spawned from that in particular, that team?
Not so much. I think I just like the name Art of War. Like, I have a few Art of War books with different cover arts, and I thought they were pretty cool. Like the dragon on it. So I don't know. It was just also an inside joke, or like a bit of a meme with my previous team, like Foggers a little bit. But yeah, the whole team roster itself, I think it just built over time. When I realized Ryan would come back, or Banana, sorry, would come back to Australia, or Terry would be back in Australia, and we could build a roster around that.
Wait. Terry woke up?
Yeah, Terry. So we have Sunshine's.
Yep.
Terry was also on the side of Ulpraken of him.
Yep.
And Sunshine's got busy with uni, so we'll see what happens in the actual roster release for ECL.
Yep.
But yeah, it's good stuff.
What sort of stuff you guys all studying at uni in particular? Like, you guys all study the same stuff, or is like, you know, someone's doing engineering and spends like 20 years at university, or most of you guys doing like, you know, psych or law or anything like that?
Sunshine's was doing something with engineering.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've already graduated.
Yep.
I haven't used my degree yet. I've just been busy with other things, but that was with computational design, which is like architecture in a way, digital architecture.
Yep.
Ryan, he was doing like, I forgot his exact degree name, but he was doing like film or something like that. And then I forgot about the others. Yeah.
Yep. So do you use like AutoCAD and stuff like that, or am I too old school? Okay, back in.
Yeah. Definitely developed in a different way, but AutoCAD was something we tried out a little bit.
Yeah. God, that was like that's an very old program. It's back when I was 13. Okay, back when the dinosaurs were around.
Yeah, there's definitely all these different softwares that you go through, and we did touch upon the old ones too.
Yep. So overall, with the Art of War team, particularly, you got to ECL and whatnot. What do you think your chances are? Like, do you think you can win the whole thing? Maybe even snag an ESL Pro League spot? What are your expectations?
Win the whole thing. First place is a bit of a stretch. We just need more time as a roster, especially like, you know, scrim time and just practice time in general. And we need that official experience. Our first season, I have a good amount of confidence for our first season and our first season placings, like playoffs, hopefully top 4. I think the goal would be at least top 4, or like, you know, top 4 goal.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just a matter of, you know, how many officials we play, and then just, you know, fix the mistakes that we do make.
What do you think your key games would be? Like, you know, what's the key games that you guys need to either get a 2-0 or even take a map off anyone?
Question. I think outside of Rooster, BNK, FlyQuest, those will be close games. Mindfreak 2, close games. Vantage too, maybe.
Yeah.
We're looking to just get those like 2-0 wins in
Yeah.
the BO ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
We shouldn't, like, the game might be close, but that's just like us maybe warming up or something, but we should be getting those 2-0s. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just trying to more secure that tie break. So it's just like, we don't have, like, even if we, tie or anything like that, we're pretty safe against these teams in particular.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're not just a player in particular. You started off as a player, big community man and whatnot as well. But you've gone now into observing and content creation. How's that been to trying to juggle everything up, basically?
Yeah, like at some point it gets like a lot in terms of the work, but going into that, I wanted to like involve myself in anything Counter-Strike related. Like that's pretty much just the passion like with Counter-Strike.
Yep.
So if I don't make an event, it's pretty sick that I get to observe the event.
Yep.
Right? The priority is still, playing
Yep.
and like making it as a pro.
Yep.
But with everything else popping up, it's just been amazing. Like helping out coaching and just observing events is just, it's insane. Like it's very lucky to have the opportunity.
Yep.
But yeah.
What was your favorite event to observe so far? Because you observed a few events so far. What was your favorite?
Good question. So there was IEM Sydney, that E-Flare tournament, DreamHack Melbourne, and then future event coming up. I would say Melbourne, because I had the responsibility of covering every single game as main observer, and that was just like, that was crazy. Like you just had to go focus in every single game.
Yeah.
You learn a lot through the experience, and you also had the crowd, which was like a new kind of component for observing for me. Like I haven't observed a crowd before, and it adds extra layers to your actual work. So
what sort of
DreamHack Melbourne.
What sort of extra layers does it add to the work in particular? Like, is it just highlighting certain things, or like if they're cheering for a player, you go onto them or whatnot, or what is it like?
Yeah, so like the layers that it adds, when you hear the crowd, when you hear the crowd yelling, or like cheering for a player, you want to have like that player in your mind. You want to like maybe put more attention towards that player and show that player on the big screen in that kind of way, because like you're catering towards the crowd. You want to entertain the crowd. You don't want to miss out on like a player dropping 30 kills on his next couple of kills, that type of thing. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Also, I gotta say, you actually mentioned it as well. Like, as a coach, I mean, you coached, I believe, it was Mind Freak, the female team in particular, with BBR.
Yep.
How was that experience in particular? Because you did quite well in that area in particular.
That was that whole experience. So much learning happened in that experience. So many miracle moments happened in that experience too. And like the fact, like first of all, it's just you learn so many different components about the game, like communication, and you learn about each player, how they learn content, how they interact with their teammates, and how to make them interact to the best of their abilities to get the best results out of them. And when we were grinding all that stuff, we qualified for Dallas, and then in Dallas we played another qualifier because we had an early boot camp for the second Impact, which was in Valencia, and we qualified for that too. We beat all the NA teams. We beat the South African team, I think, and it was just, we were cheering. It was just like living in the moment. It was amazing.
Yeah,
and yeah,
I do remember like that. What was it? The video from when your Mind Freak won, and like all the cheering in the LAN cafe and whatnot. It was such an epic moment in particular.
Yeah, we were making so much noise. We were just cheering, filling up the whole internet cafe, and just we couldn't believe it. MJ was at the back cheering, and then all the players were just ecstatic. We were shaking, all that. It was crazy.
Oh, do good.
Yeah.
Gotta be happy for MJ though, because like MJ, I think that was his first team like that won an international event or qualified for an international event, because of course he's actually led another team, of course, that joined Na'Vi recently.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was a COD team.
Yeah.
That leaned towards Na'Vi. I think before the actual Mind Freak women stuff, they had their COD team go international to like Dallas events, I think. But yeah, another thing of the coaching is like, this is the first time it was like international related thing for Counter-Strike for me, which was just crazy. You know, like I don't usually travel. I haven't been overseas for gaming at all. So having this coaching, you know, thing come in and then take me international and the team international was just, it's just unreal. It's hard to believe it's surreal. That type of thing. Yeah.
Is jet lag a problem? That's the real crushing question for international experience.
For competing, I feel like if you go international and like you got these events to play, you probably just like really focused on playing it. Like you're motivated, you got that extra energy, like that extra energy reserve to just focus on the game. But obviously jet lag comes into an effect at some points. You might crash. MJ was giving us strategies to help counter the jet lag, like just sleep on the plane or stay up for a certain amount of time and then just crash, or energy drinks, which some players went for. But yeah, that's the jet lag kind of thing.
Yeah. Like I said, what about, you know, so let's shift it back to content creation. Like so you've started doing some content creation, like with clips and whatnot for Defrag. Is anything on the horizon other than looking for a team? Which, ironically enough, a lot of people pointed out that you're still looking for a team. Is there any other content coming up?
Yeah. So, you know, before we started editing, we laid out certain topics to talk about or start recording, that type of thing. There was the LFT one, which has been uploaded. There's the Strapbox one, which is a future upload. There's going to be analyzing certain pro demos or gameplay kind of things. That's going to be future kind of block of videos. And then there's going to be like tournament style videos where we maybe get the community to vote on who versus who, but we go for a player versus a player. You get the comms, the whole experience, and you're kind of like spectating. You can hear the smack talk, that kind of thing. And they play for a prize. So that'll be really fun. It's like whole community based, getting the community involved. So that'll be good. Yeah.
Do you think it will be the best 1v1 in that sort of experience? I'm going to go with Foggers and Malta, okay? After seeing them go at it.
Foggers and Malta. Good 1v1s.
That would have a lot of banter and a lot of, you know, flair, because obviously Foggers and Malta, mate, like I casted that major qualifier and those two were fucking going on.
Yeah, or Foggers and Falcon or Pat.
That'd
be pretty hilarious. But there's heaps of different mix-ups you can do that just provide so much content. So yeah, I got to think about it a little bit. But yeah,
I'd say ASAP and Nedek would be pretty good as well. You know, obviously the two aimers and whatnot.
Exactly, yeah.
And then
crazy mechanics.
I would go with Pain and DPR as well for the AWPers, for the young AWPers with potential. Not sure if DPR is still around, but they're both, you know, very high potential, high ceiling. Probably see some crazy gameplay out of that. Yeah, for sure. And there's just like so many possibilities that can help with storylines too. Definitely. Yeah. What other ones, like, you know, with storylines in particular, like, you know, what could help?
I think in the upcoming teams, or like, you know, like teams that are within the top 6 to 10, you could get players matching up against each other to showcase their mechanics, that type of thing. Because some players, you know, they're playing a team, but they can't really showcase their mechanics to the full of their extent because there's just other factors that hold them back. Maybe their role or, you know, position in the round, like they're playing side anchor, they can't really feel as free or play as free as they would want to. So, yeah.
Also, last but not least, okay, we've got to comment about the elephant in the room in particular. Well, obviously it's a Tema phrase, but how did you meet Letty? Like, you know, obviously you two are a couple.
How did I meet Letty? That's a good question. I think.
Hi, Joshin.
Hello.
I think it first started with like a raid.
Yep.
Or we had this bubble with Mon.
Yep.
Rizar. And then it started off as a raid, and then, you know, Twitch community kind of thing. We pop up in each other's chat.
He friend-zoned me.
No comment.
Did you friend-zone her? Wait, hang on. Did you friend-zone her?
I didn't friend-zone her. I just... it's quite the story.
It's complicated. Okay, got it. Okay, got it.
It's complicated. But I was like, I'm not sure if I have enough time to commit. I didn't want to disappoint, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I'll still be open-minded about it, and we'll still talk. We'll see what happens, and then yeah.
Where have you taken Letty so far in Sydney? Have you threw her up onto the Sydney Harbour Bridge yet? Opera House. Where have you taken her?
Where have I taken Letty in Sydney? Visited the Opera House, saw the Sydney Harbour Bridge. We wanted to do the Sydney Harbour Bridge walk, but like we had a heat planned, but it was just condensed.
But then he had to go to Saudi next week.
Yeah, so like 2 weeks or so before she came, I got like an offer to observe an event.
Yep.
And I had to pretty much cut the trip short. She was going to spend like 3 weeks in Sydney, but now it's like a week. To 2 weeks. Yeah.
Man, what event could be in Saudi? I have no idea whatsoever. You know what? It's probably a river cruise for you two or something like that. You never know, okay? In the desert.
Yeah. Exactly. No one knows.
So, I gotta say you so any observing coming up at the ANZC's LAN that's been announced?
Oh, that LAN, we'll be looking to play it, the Art of War.
Yep.
So we signed up. I reckon should be able to get our full roster in that LAN, and it's gonna be really fun.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I said, anything in particular, because of course you've done Looking for Teen, now you've done the Strapbook and whatnot in particular. What sort of content will like the Strapbook contain? Is it like more of focusing on defaults? Like what's the main focus on like a good Strapbook?
So that actual video itself, it's going to talk about like Strapbook, why you need it, how to write one, mistakes I've made, which is like just, for example, writing up so much information you can't really read it, or not writing clearly, so you confuse yourself in the future.
Yeah.
But it's like the whole broad topic of Strapbooks and the most effective way to write one concisely. Yeah.
Yep. So like what are like some tips and stuff like that on like how to go about a Strapbook in particular? Like, how to adapt the team to a Strapbook?
Well, like some tips, it's like a good one or a good foundation to talk off of is like you have your team Strapbook and your personal Strapbook. So your team one, your IGL can put in all the notes, all the strats you wants the team to follow, and then your individual one can be more personalized. So like you can write in a style that caters towards you and helps you in the most effective way. And like your writing of style is going to be super important. That way, when you're in an official or in practice, you can just refer to your Strapbook, look at your strat, and easily kind of refresh your memory. Yep. Your goal is to refresh your memory. Refresh your memory, and your Strapbook is a tool to help you do that, I would say. Yeah. Especially when you're like bouncing between maps, you might forget certain components in your role, and that could screw you over pretty significantly. Yeah. Yep. Ideally, though, you want to be practicing so you don't really forget your knowledge. Like you're practicing enough so you don't make those mistakes. But yeah.
Yeah. So with Neo particularly, because obviously Neo is your IGL. Is that correct? What does this?
No, I've been IGLing.
Okay.
For the team.
So most important, okay. How do you store your Strapbook? Is it like an exercise book from the news agency? Is it a binder? It's got plastic sleeves in it. What does your Strapbook look like?
Yeah, that's also a good question. Yep. The video will be answering all these questions, but like, do you mean the tools or medium that like?
Yeah, the medium. Like, do you have a file? Do you have a binder? Is it up here in your head?
Different ways to take notes, but the way I do it and a lot of other people do it is using Google Sheets. Yep. To write down notes, but yeah.
Okay. So how do you refer that during a game? Is it just you just print out the Google Sheets before the game and put them there, or because obviously Google Sheets is online?
Yeah. So if you're on LAN, you probably print out your notes. That's pretty easy. But all you do is just like have it on your second monitor, or just Shift Tab and use the Steam overlay to bring up your notes. It's pretty simple, straightforward.
Anyways, this is part of the interview process or the end of it. Where can people find your content in particular? Like, YouTube, Twitter. Where can they find it?
Well, on Twitter, there's like a extra link that takes you to my other pages on my YouTube. So, I guess the most basic thing would be to look up on Twitter Bazaviri. So at Bazaviri on Twitter, and then I think you can navigate to my Twitch from there, which is twitch.tv/Bazaviri. Bowser 0,
Mm-hmm.
or the YouTube, which is just very, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But majority of socials are up on Twitter.
Yeah, you get the all the links page and it just goes out everywhere basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the first topic in particular we've got today. And the first topic is very important because it's the local scene, the ANZ Rostermania. And
Yes.
some rocks have been crumbling around in particular, okay? So the first one was announced by HLTV, which was Nedic parting way from the Rooster, and the Rooster boys put up a nice little homage to, Nedic for being on a team for a very long time in particular. And this just feeds in more into those talent rumours. You reckon this is talent confirmed, or is it just like Nedic could be going elsewhere?
Well, nothing's confirmed. It's all rumors.
Yep.
But yeah, the fact that Nedic's most likely or pretty much out of Rooster to pursue overseas thing, pretty sick. Great opportunity. In terms of if it's talent or not, nothing's confirmed. So
it could be domestic. It could be domestic as well. It could be joining BNK's just had enough of the Rooster boys, or even in Greyhound. But I think they've tried to go for it before.
Rumors have, I don't know. With the way the rumors have gone, it seems like something big is cooking for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because we also had another rumor as well. Obviously, not rumor, another confirmation from Arcade, as they've picked up Verza. And Foggers released a little tweet that APOC Dud's on the way out. Not sure if it's confirmed yet, but that's, Foggers did the good old Indian Facebook meme, best friends now with Verza, but,
Yeah. Judging from that tweet, I would say it's pretty legit. Versa in, APOC Dud out, especially because APOC Dud was AWPing, right? And Versa is also an AWPer.
Yep.
So, likely case that APOC Dud is going elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tweet from Foggers. Give him that.
Yeah, I guess that only place I see for APOC Dud in particular is probably BNK at this stage, probably trying to keep their five, keep their core three together. If the talent rumors are true, that's my most likely area. It's good to see Verza back in a team, considering what happened to him last season with the Archon Sunday School stuff, where he couldn't play because he's actually roster locked out.
Yeah, exactly. Because the previous thing was Sunday School with DreamHack Melbourne, right?
Yep.
That was like the main officials that he was playing. And then the Archon stuff too.
Yeah, because he couldn't play because he had the DreamHack Melbourne stuff. That's why he couldn't play.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good to have that sorted, then he actually, compete again, because he was probably waiting for that day.
Mate, he was just crossing off the stuff in the calendar, mate. Just red X's everywhere. One more day I can play again. What do you think Versa's going to? What do you think Versa brings to this arcade roster in particular? More than menu logs, APOC Dud.
More, I reckon Versa is pretty he's an explosive type of player, so he'll get some pretty good impacts within the team. So as long as the team structure is there, and he has that structure to play comfortably, I reckon he'll do some damage. Yeah, he's the type of player to just kind of pop off and get things done. When he's on a roll fired up, then he keeps going.
Yeah, I guess he's got that bit of clutch potential as well. But overall, I think is a side grade with APOC Dud. You've got someone to replace APOC Dud, which is great.
APOC Dud is also really good with his support and his role. He's like the glue to a team in a way.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. He's been on many teams, and he's been the seemingly enough is the one that the glue. Everyone gets attracted to it and whatnot. But yeah, that's my fault. I think Versa and APOC Dud, I don't think Arcade lose anything there. And it's pretty much Versa's just the same Lego block as APOC Dud, but in different sort of ways. Versa brings a few things APOC Dud doesn't have, and vice versa.
In a way, I reckon APOC Dud is just, I would say he's on another level in a way. Riley or Versa has got the mechanics and the experience too, but APOC Dud is he's just been around for long.
Definitely.
Be that stronger player.
Yep. Yeah. Now, there's going to be other ones as well, other changes, because obviously Nedic's going to set probably, the domino effect, that guy with one domino and a giant domino Obviously, next going to set up that. What other changes are going to occur? Let's just say a ton rumors confirmed. You see Addict and Hazard go off to whatever. What do you see like potential roster moves for BNK because they want to keep their spot? Or is something going to happen there where Talon takes their spot in particular with having the core? Like, what sort of players that are out there, I suppose, that BNK could grab in particular? Let's just say they grab APOC Dud. What are the two other players they can realistically go for? Sorry, I think I may have got this. No, yeah, two other players,
No, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, so like, it's going to create a crazy kind of shuffle amongst the top teams in the region. Like, you got a massive hole with BNK now looking for those players to fill. So they were playing with because when PZ was out, Yoambat was playing, right?
Yep. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
sorry, only one player if APOC Dud's in. That's right. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, so we'll see what avenue they go in terms of their lineup. But with their new one, let's say Yoambat, APOC Dud, potential.
Damio. Brace.
Damio, you got Damio, Brace. And
yeah, I'm trying to think of a fifth, but like you could realistically, because obviously it's a rifle you want to just put in there, or you could even put Damio to obviously a rifle as well. Put APOC Dud back on the AWP, but I know he prefers a rifle and whatnot. But I'm just trying to think which rifle they can grab. I think realistically they could probably grab any rifle, even from like Mind Freak, Advantage in particular. There's a lot of players on the cusp who are very big stars of their team that they could realistically just pick up.
Yeah, I'm thinking because like, what are some other teams that had roster changes?
Yeah.
What are some other teams that had roster changes?
Oh, so they're picking up It's finally. Jeez, finally BNK picking up a good team.
So
what
other teams? There's Mind Freak, there's Vantage.
Yeah.
There's not sure, but Vantage had roster changes.
Actually, I gotta say it's a very difficult one because like I say right now, whoever it is, this is just gonna be an absolute curveball. But let's keep you off the pressure because everyone's gonna attack you and everyone's in the chats being ready to be like leak it. But let's go to the next one, okay? So obviously,
you guys will find out eventually, you know.
Exactly, you know it when you see it, okay? So next one, I'm gonna go with the International Rostermania, which is a bit more progressed compared to Australia, where players are actually moving. But we've got obviously the Talon rumored or by Hades and Diha joining Monty. That's a bit of a curveball, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like Monty was finding like their bit for a little bit now.
Yep.
Like they picked up Sticko for their IGL. That was kind of recent too, right?
Sticko is IGL.
I assume.
Yeah, right? I'm just surprised. I was gonna say
maybe
I'll be surprised because he plays lurk. He plays lurk generally. He could think, even he gives all the content. He could be IGL. No, it's Hades IGLing. But SDY's gone, fuckers.
SDY is gone.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. So they got the new players. It's gonna be interesting to see how they perform because it's like it looks good. It looks good. I haven't been watching many of their demos, but the players themselves, we'll see what happens a bit.
I think, Diha, I've got to say, like, unfortunately, Ents ended up as it did for him in particular. I think that Ents team overall, before they got the polls and Glade and stuff like that, it's such a tragic ending how Falcons just basically pulled that team apart. It was like performing so much higher than its parts basically as well with Snappy and whatnot. And now I feel like they're just back to square one because it's just like, well, we've broken up that team, and I'm just hoping Diha gets a new start here because he's been a great rifle for a very long time. I remember casting when he was at Sprout, and he was just like popping off heads, and Sprout couldn't get into the ESL Premier League, ESL Pro League for the life of them, basically.
We'll see how it works, like how they work with each other too, because different team environment for sure.
And also they lost to IGL.
Like Sorry.
They lost to IGL with Waro as well. Obviously, Waro was benched, and I was actually suspecting Waro could even go to that Talon rumored lineup because he's actually a good AWPer.
Yeah, he's still LFT, right?
Yeah,
Or like
still
13?
LFT. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah,
you
we'll see what happens with that.
also got that. Obviously, it's an LMBT coach team, so it's actually kind of interesting. He's got a whole bunch of Poles because normally he's a mix of Ukrainians and Russians on his team.
Right. Yeah.
So it's going to be
So
interesting.
see how the culture is together. Yeah.
Yep. And the other one, obviously another Australian-related one, is JKS being on Liquid. What do you think about that one?
Yep. Well, it's about time JKS is back competing, but I reckon that Liquid team, obviously, of Kaden didn't really work out. I was reading a little bit about from one of the articles.
Yep.
I think from Yakinda.
Yep. On HLTV. Yep.
And I think with Kaden style was like a lot of micro, which he mentioned or talked about, and it didn't really work with the players that they had. Which makes sense because you got Twist, maybe Naf, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they tried a style, they tried to make it work, but didn't work. So, you got JKS coming in with what's the lineup now? Naf, Yakinda, Twist, JKS,
and Ultimate. Okay, they got a Polish Orpa called Ultimate. Okay.
I don't know much about Ultimate.
You can make a joke. You know, the Team Liquid guys are like, find the ultimate Orpa. Oh, you get Ultimate. There's Polish Orpa, mate.
They're bringing an Ultimate.
Yeah.
That is
what about
Damage? I guess. Like, what was his previous team? Sorry.
I'm actually not terribly sure. I think it's a Luminar. I think it's one of those Polish mixed teams in particular. I've been told from various people who cast Counter-Strike that he has like a high ceiling. Like he's a great Orpa and has a high potential ceiling. It's whether it's going to carry up to tier 1 and whatnot. Also, as well, another Australian favourite, you know, the former coach for Renegades, Myth R's, got a job at Liquid as well. You know, some people have been like, in particular, I've seen some bad things said about Myth R. I'm like, especially about Apex, his reign of Apex. And I'm sitting there going like, I watched Deco's video about it. Okay, Apex were all falling apart before he got there. He was like, none of the stuff that when he got there was his issue. So obviously, if you don't know, I think Myth R got there when Kicks and left.
Okay, yeah. Was this after the successful major?
Yeah. Like it was a second time, not the first time with JL and whatnot. It was the second time, and I'm sitting here going like, no, Myth R's gonna be a great coach for Liquid. I mean, he did Heroic very well. He did Renegades really well. I mean, Renegades went on that run to Leipzig before COVID completely cucked them, basically. Yeah,
and you're right about the timing. It's like he couldn't really get properly tested with how that team was functioning. And like, you know, you got that DreamHack Melbourne event and even Sticko coming back in the team just to feel for, or like to play the RMRs or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like that team was already, you know, they already had their issues. Like it just didn't work. I think there was like, I don't know, but I'm assuming there was like just clashes with certain players.
Yeah.
Remember watching Sticko's video or something about it.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work. And then they end DreamHack Melbourne 0-13 on Nubis. That team was just clearly just gone at that point.
Because I think Sticko talked about Sense in particular on that team, but I'll leave that to the side. With JKS, I actually forgot to mention as well, because we didn't talk about JKS too much. He needed to come back into the CS pro scene already. I mean, he's already been about like 5 or 6 months out. I mean, it gets to a point where like people just forget about you. I mean, in esports in particular, like it's like 3 or 4 months you could be forgotten about just like that. I mean, look at Simple, for example. Like, he's barely clinching to relevancy, and he's like the greatest of all time CSGO player. Like, JKS is... You need to get back in there. How do you think Liquid's going to be with JKS? Because he's going to have Naf and Twists, which are a very good pair for Liquid. He's going to have Yakinda. Like, how do you think that's going to go around him? Is, you know, Liquid going to accelerate to higher tiers and not be that 50-50 team where FlyQuest could beat them? Or they're going to actually get into tier 1?
Yeah, I reckon Liquid, it's like definitely a good refresher for the whole team. Like, they'll probably introduce just a proper system that everyone's comfortable with and they can actually get good, confident results. Like, you would watch some of the Liquid games with Katie in the past and it's just all shaky. Like in the RMRs, close games, it's just weird, weird score lines. And also like in the games there's like rounds where they're trolling a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, they're just messing around. Like they're feeding kills at times. It doesn't seem as professional as it should be. So I think with JKS coming in, it should help reset things and the culture of that team, I would say. Yeah. Because like they're spending all this time, they need to actually just get results. Yeah. Like that whole stint with Kaden was a experiment in a way. And with JKS, I reckon it'll work really well, especially with Twist.
Yeah.
Because like JKS did fill in for
FaZe. Yep.
FaZe when Twist was playing. Yeah.
And also they got that clutch player in NAF as well. You know, they've got really good stars in there. So like JKS can like probably rely on a lot more players, kind of like when he was in G2 with Nico and Hunter, where he can just be that anchor. He can rely on NAF and Twist to just perform miracles, basically. I think in particular as well, someone actually highlighted this as well on the tweet about G2 and whatnot. They were I gotta say, like, this G2 roster has been heavily criticized and judged, and it's actually gone on to JKS because they act like JKS doesn't communicate, and he's like this silent person, like he just communicates in smoke language or something like that. Yeah. What do you think about, like, you know, over criticism like that? Like, I think it's just ridiculous.
It's really, like, it's cooked talking about because outside of the stats and just how a player would perform, or like the stats, you know, attached to their name, it's like a massive part of it is just the culture and the team and how teammates interact with each other. It's like the most successful teams have like that really good team synergy where they're friends, or like you know, they're not just playing and treating it as a job. They actually like enjoy playing with their teammates. And if a player has an issue with another player and you try to resolve it like in a professional environment, but it just doesn't click, or you're missing something like communication, like certain comms from a player, let's say the majority of your roster is like quiet when you need more vocal kind of comms, then it's like it just doesn't really fit and build the team that you need. So that move was definitely controversial because JKS wasn't even doing that bad, but it's just like, what does the team need to succeed with the environment, I would say. Yeah, because
I read an article about it. I think G2, I agree with them, was the most over-criticized team. I mean, they were criticizing parts that weren't even relevant. I mean, like, they were hypercritical of Hooksy. And I'm like, who wins your game? Who wins you the game?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not Hooksy, okay? You could put any IGL in there, as long as he can keep Nico, Hunter, and Monacy, you know, focused and cool and not, you know, being rowdy. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not like Na'Vi. Exactly. It's not like Na'Vi where Blade's got a system. It's not heroic where Cadian has a system. It's just let your star players pop off. That's it.
Yeah. Like, Hooksy's been around in that team for so long because they're comfortable, like, with how he calls and also like how they set or how he sets the team up. It's like Monazy's been popping off. Nico, he had like a slump period, but you know, he's been popping off in general most of all. But I guess it just it hit that certain point where they couldn't really go further anymore. And like, if Fulsy's been around for that long in that team, then they all had respect for each other, I would say. Yeah. But it just comes down to hitting your goals.
Yep. Yeah. Talking about, you know, obviously Team Liquid, we had Skulls. Obviously Skulls moved to Furia. What do you think that move is for Skulls in particular? I think it's a good move for him. He needs to get some confidence back in himself. But I gotta say, I don't have much love for Furia because Furia seems to be that team that has like all washed up players in it, and they just slowly go down and down and down and keep making wrong moves over and over again, just like Sideshow Bob. But I think it's a good move for Skulls because I guess he represented the chaos that was in Liquid because he wasn't performing well at all.
Yeah. Do you think like Skulls' performance was a bit related to like the culture of the team?
That's what I'm implying. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say so. Yeah. He probably didn't feel comfortable. This is all like just assuming. Yeah. I don't know exactly, but he was probably just didn't feel comfortable. Maybe the comms or the way that the team talks to each other. It's like a bit. Just I don't know. Because
I saw Maui was very critical of his movement and positions and whatnot, and I'm like, this feels like a player who's like got two different voices in his head, basically communicating different things, and there's like a clash in the culture, and he's just the symptom of it. Like he's kind of like, because a lot of Brazilians in particular, they're very passionate and emotional people, so it expresses like that as well. And that's how I felt it showed with Skulls. There was just two things clashing, and he just didn't know what to do. So you know, deer in headlights. Yeah,
and also, if we link back to what we were saying earlier with Cadian, it's like if Cadian was micromanaging heaps, right, and Skull is maybe his English or just how fast he picks up on, you know, just like those type of calls, like it probably just didn't click as well. So obviously he's not going to really perform because he can't like focus on his aim as much.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it was just the style of the team that was wrong that made him not perform to how he should.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all just kind of like a mess.
Talking about the NA scene a bit more, we had M80 signing Lake. Now, have you ever heard of Lake before? Have you watched a lot of NACS?
Was Lake the player that was in Steel's team, or was that someone else? That was
No,
Leaf, right?
No, that was Leaf probably, but Lake is one of these players in particular. He's played with Volcro and stuff like that, like in Carpe Diem and stuff like that, and he's just an absolute stat monster, dude. Like, that guy's an absolute workhorse. Gets like 20 to 30 kills per map, definitely always performing, very consistent. And I think, obviously, with losing Malbs, this was just a natural pickup from M80. This is actually a good move from M80. The problem is losing Malbs, I think it's going to be leaving a bigger hole than they think, but it's good that this time it's just a rifler and not losing the IGL like what happened last time with Mags.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know, I think it's pretty good because M80, their last ESL Pro League showing was pretty sick. Like, G2 wasn't in the best spot, but they looked fired up. They had like all the energy and it looks like they're on the upwards in terms of performance. So this roster move should help them progress further.
Yep.
If things click,
Got a few other roster moves, funnily enough. Obviously, Boros, the man, the mouse changer himself, he's actually returned to the scene for Into the Breach. Okay, so they finalized that roster. And let me give you Into the Breach's roster, okay? You're going to enjoy this one, okay? Boros, Smooya, Kios, Flatrow, John Flatrow, sorry, and Synopsy. How do you think that roster's going to go from Into the Breach? Because I feel like it can go chaotically well or chaotically bad, given, I'm going to say, Smooya. Because Flatrow and Synopsy, those, I forget, they're Kosovans, sorry.
Yeah.
They're so, passionate, so hype. Every kill they get is going to be amazing. I'm just going to see how it's going to clash with Smooya and whatnot. Is it going to be, as I said, it can be big upward trend or absolute disaster, basically. It's like an all-in sort of move from Into the Breach.
Yeah, I like the duo move with Joanne and Synopsy.
Yeah.
It's like they already have so much experience together, they're comfortable playing with each other, and they bring that energy, right?
Yeah.
And Smooya's also got that energy.
Yeah.
But it just depends on how everyone clicks together.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's just pretty much it. It's like you can go up like a mountain, they all love each other, everyone goes up, or if Smooya and Flatrow clash, it's gonna come tumbling down. That's always it. It's just literally such a huge coin flip. Like, it's actually literally a huge coin flip. It could go very well or very shit.
Yeah, what would the first official be for them? Would you know?
Yeah, I'm just checking for Into the Breach what the first official is. They also have Juve, the Portuguese player, as the coach as well. He's been well known in the European scene as well.
Okay,
I'm not sure what their first thing's going to be. I haven't announced anything yet on what their event's going to be.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun watching because Boris, I guess he's the youngest on the team, right?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so his specialty would be the mechanics. Kios, I don't know how he plays exactly.
Yeah, he didn't play that well in Game of Legion. That's why they benched him, and then he got picked up by another team. To be fair, I'm going to say
he's playing anchor roles.
He was being picked on. I'm going to say it's kind of like a G2 sort of thing. He was being picked on. He just wasn't hitting shots. His aim was just off, and he was just getting completely done out mechanically, and it just felt odd. Like I don't know. I felt like he was over criticized at times, but I can say he probably deserved to get benched from Game of Legion.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Then that's that. But with this team, it'll be fun to watch for sure.
Yeah.
And like they've got a lot of hype built around it. Smooya has picked these players himself, and he seems pretty motivated to hit that major spot. You know
what they need though? They need like a Flashpoint sort of tournament, stuff like that, where Smooya, Flatrow, and Synopsy can just go bang with the banter. Because I remember, I think it was Foreign said it, that Smooya was very good for the tournament because he was so good with the banter and whatnot.
Yeah, he brings in the content for sure.
Yeah.
It's very hype.
Talking about, obviously, the Kosovans, we got the other player in particular, Rigon, joining big. Okay, they benched Process and picked up Rigon. And like I say, what's going to bring to Big? Like for Big at the moment, Big's this weird team where they can compete with the tier 1 teams, but they're also at the top of tier 2 as well. Like they get close-ish, but never close enough. I mean, they've been in the ESL Pro League, they're in IM Dallas, they beat a few teams and they just go out. They're like group stage warriors, basically. They always stay there and never get to the playoffs.
Yeah. Big, like last time I was watching Big was when they had Mantu, and they had like a really good kind of period where they were just getting some good wins or like keeping games pretty close. But this new lineup, I'm not too sure because I don't really know the players.
And they lost God B as well, which is actually a big thing, actually. Like, obviously, what's the big loss about God B as coach? Like, obviously, he went to play Valorant, came back, or not play Valorant, coach Valorant. But now, that's like an end of an era for Big, because God B and, I forget his brother, NK. They got both Bs at the end of it, okay? But either way, like, it's the first time in a long time for Big that neither of those players, like NK and God B, are coaching this team.
Yeah. So, like, Big seemed like that German representative, like just full kind of German lineup. They still are, but, Riggingland's in now, so see how it goes for them. They got Blasts, Cologne, Play-ins, and Pro League so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this next one is the Cloud9 lineup. Okay, so Cloud9 finally got their players together after all those rumors and whatnot. So they picked up, trying to find the announcement here, they picked up Heavy God. Okay.
Yep.
They got Inter's back. Yep, Inter's back, obviously, from the previous gang, the youngsters roster. They picked up, obviously, IC as well from Amcal, and obviously they keep Boomich and Axile. What do you think of that roster particularly? My thoughts are already on Twitter. I feel like it's a wait-and-see approach. There's not too much hype behind this. It's not like there's no big star players that are going to be like, hey, these guys can be tier 1. Heavy God, I'm excited to see. He deserves to get the Cloud9. Yeah. He carried Endpoint and carried OG as well. And
he did, yeah.
He's going to go very well on Cloud9. I'm just not sure.
Excited.
You're excited? Why are you excited with it?
Because they got IC, and this is like his like a good test for him to take it to the next level.
Yep.
Boomblich, there was controversy with Inters.
Yep.
But I guess Axel and Inters experience already. And then Heavy Guard, he seems pretty fired up. Like, those highlight rounds in the OG, the Diggle on balcony in apps, I think 5K. But yeah, like with that whole lineup, and IC being able to just like farm with the AWP. We'll see what they do.
I guess like overall for me, I don't think it's a tier 1 team, but also don't think it's a tier 2 team either. It's on that weird cusp, as I say, for like Big. It's like they're not going to be making playoffs, but they could be a threat in the group stage, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure how much IC and Heavy God are going to be that clutch potential. You get what I mean? Like I'm not terribly sure how that's going to go. And also with Cloud9 particularly, with Inters being back in the roster, I think Cloud9 mismanaged Inters by replacing it with Buster. I think that was like one of the worst moves I've ever seen a team do. Because it's like that Buster is having a poor time Virtus Pro. Why do you bring in a poor form player for Inters who's not having poor form? It's just I just never understood it.
These types of moves, it's confusing. Like something had to go right in practice or scrims, but maybe it was like a honeymoon period and then it just fell off. But yeah, I don't know.
Now
Buster's with 1 win now.
I have no idea where Buster is at this stage, but I think he needed to go to a team that was in tier 2 or whatnot because he just, I don't know what happened to him. His confidence just sapped away in Virtus Pro. Like, he was huge in Virtus Pro and it just fell off a cliff, basically. And I was surprised when Cloud9 picked them up.
Yeah, like, okay, if they picked him up during that moment when he was just in a slump, I'm not sure. Maybe it was like an emergency pickup, they were rushed for time, that type of thing. But yeah, it's an interesting move.
Yep. Last but not least, we're going to get onto the final topic. It's going to be the ANZC Sydney LAN in particular. That finally got announced.
Yes.
How is it that we finally got a LAN? Obviously, since THX was the last LAN in particular for Sydney. How hyped are you for it, man? Obviously, you've entered.
Yeah, I'm of course signed up. But Sydney LAN, it's about time because like when I was getting into the scene, it was pretty much the time when COVID hit, so LANs were pretty much off the lines.
Yep.
And it's been that long, and there hasn't been anything like Sydney based to kind of play in. So having these opportunities pop up with LANs is definitely something to be excited about. Especially like an 8-team LAN, the prize pool is pretty good.
Yep.
And it's going to be a really good experience. A lot of fun playing with your peers, like the people you've been playing with online for, you know, however long.
And it's also at Fortress as well, so like, you know, people could be there, spectators.
Exactly. It's that Fortress and the facility in Sydney.
Yeah.
So
is it going to be in the arena or anything like that? Do you know? Or do you know the format at all? Because I'm not aware of it at the moment.
Not too sure about the format. I'm not sure if that's been released yet.
Yep.
So we'll see what they update us with.
Yeah.
In the coming days. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like, you know, trying to get it all done one day. I'm like trying to think, how are we going to do that in particular? Obviously, I'd say obviously avoid a round robin because that could take for ages. But I'm just wondering how we're going to do that. To be fair, though, we did get an 8-team tournament done in TGX, so not impossible.
Was that just one day?
That was one day. That was one day.
That was one day.
Yeah, it was one day because I remember Foggers basically telling me, mate, we have to get it done today. And I'm like, what? Like, I thought we had a second day.
That's a lot to pack in the day, but Fortress facility shouldn't be too many technical issues that delay the games, and as long as everyone's, you know, ready for the game at the right time, it should be okay. Yeah.
Have you played like a Fortress LAN before? Like, have you LANed at Fortress, like playing scrims or anything like that, like against a team in?
There was the Blast event with Rooster.
Yep.
Played in that one at Fortress in Melbourne. That was okay. I wasn't really a fan of the monitors, or like just, I don't know, you could hear the audio from the speakers. It wasn't the best.
Yeah,
but yeah, Fortress is like, it's a pretty nice place though. With the layout and the space that they have. But, yeah.
Because I remember going to the Melbourne one, of course, had those stands and whatnot as well. I've never actually seen the arena for Sydney. Is there an arena in Sydney or?
Yes, there's an arena. Wait, there's like a whole open area, which I assume will be the arena. I haven't seen like the current, like the tournaments I've done in the past and how they set it up, but there should be enough space to cater for that, I would say. Yeah.
I would say overall, like, you know, you think it's going to be a big series event? I'm actually hyped up, actually. I feel like this is going to be like a big series of events where, like, in the future, we're going to have, like, you know, one each quarter, have a big one at the end of the year, like, before Christmas, stuff like that. And then have, like,
no doubt,
potentially open quals as well. And make it really a big of a series. Like, actually, I'm actually really hyped for it because I'm like, this is starting something good. And also getting the lands back as well, which is, like, finally, because other than, obviously, the ANZC stuff, like the ones that have been sustainable. I mean, you've competed in a lot of the ones where they have one tournament and then they're gone the next day, basically. You never hear from them again.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
So I did quote Shocks Esports as well. They did one, and then where are they? And then all the rivalry stuff.
Yeah. There was the Team Liquid tournament, if you remember that. That was online.
Yep.
Yeah, that was that one too. And they haven't really hosted another one. I think they just do the like Valorant now or something for their tourney. But yeah, like these lands popping up, or like even this ANZC one. In a way, it's kind of like a test or like just a grassroots thing for future lands, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a player, you'd be really excited just the fact that there's lands popping up and just more opportunities to play in person instead of just being stuck online. Because definitely playing on LAN, you just need that experience for sure.
Oh, dude, it's a different beast. Like the first LAN I went to, obviously, like a local LAN TGX. Jeez, like the tension. Okay, James just talks too much. That's all I'm gonna say. Ruffleco is like you know, if I was Ruffleco's coach, I'd like get him a banter book on different ways of saying banter instead of delivering these nuts. Okay, honestly, man.
That's a specialty, though. That's a specialty. During an official, he just goes crazy. He goes crazy.
Yep.
Especially when he has a Red Bull, he's just gone.
Yeah.
He's like,
Okay,
crazy.
I was going to say, do you know any of the other 7 teams that have entered in so far? Because this is actually the big hype point. It's only been announced for one day, and we've got 7 teams ready to go. Like, that's insane.
The other teams, I know that Arcade should be playing in it. I'm pretty sure. Arcade signed up.
We got an update. 11 teams now, but still 11 teams in 2 days. That's really good.
Wait, so they're still going to be having 8, right? But they're going to choose the teams for the 8 spot.
Yeah, as they said that in an announcement, they will probably choose the teams. Like that's what's probably going to happen. But dude,
11 teams though. That's pretty good.
That's encouraging, I've got to say. And it could lead, as I said before, it could lead to open qualies for these sort of things. And it's going to be like some sort of circuit, some sort of league event that honestly we definitely need. I mean, you got CCT in Europe and arguably it's sponsored by gambling, things. We can't really do that in Australia because Australia has very strict gambling laws.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But, we could have something like a CCT, obviously, in Australia, even though we do have that series already. We could have another one on top of it as well. Like, it's actually really encouraging and I'm really liking it as well.
100%.
And also,
these type of events like Bris Vegas, ANZC with these lands coming up and just future lands in general, it's like it helps the motivation of players because back when COVID was a thing and there was no lands, people just lost motivation because they're just playing online constantly.
Yeah.
So the fact that these lands are coming back is really important for the sustainability of the game, especially in Oceania and just ANZ.
Yeah.
You compete, play in these lands, get that more immersive kind of esport environment, and it just pushes you forward.
Because I remember Bris Vegas, the first one I want to try and attend, which was the one that was the COVID one, the first COVID one. And I was a bit annoyed I couldn't attend that. But then again, at the end of the day, I researched it afterwards. I couldn't get back into WA if I went.
Ah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of not fun. But overall, definitely want to get over to Bris Vegas because, they even host a StarCraft 2 tournament. Okay, and a bit of the StarCraft 2 buff as well. Okay, so I get 2 of my favorite esports.
Exactly, they were doing it side by side. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
In their last Bris Vegas, I saw the StarCraft section, which is cool.
Yeah. Have you played StarCraft 2 before?
No, I was the only strategy. I'm pretty sure StarCraft's a strategy game.
Yeah, it's RTS. RTS, yeah.
Yeah. The only one I was playing was Age of Empires 2. I love that game.
Every time I do the troll with you can't fit 8 spearmen, but you can fit 7 elephants on ships.
All these different strategies. I wasn't the best at it, but yeah, it was fun. Definitely fun. So
overall, with ANZC in particular, and then we got Bris Vegas as well. Any other land tournaments that you want to see come back? A land series that probably could have existed before COVID.
Well, what opportunities were there for Australia that don't exist right now for current circuits or?
There was Global Challenge. Yeah, it's probably not too much
Asia
actually.
Based too.
Yeah, Extreme Lands.
Extreme Lands.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember seeing officials for that. So I think just any tournaments that get Oceania and Asia playing together, they're so close to each other. So having 20s pop up for that would be amazing. It's it's a good way to segue into the bigger tourneys overseas, like the EU ones, like ESL Pro League. It's you first versus Asia, and then you go into the next step, which is pretty sick.
Also with ANZC in particular, could that lead to what do you think if it could lead to a partnership with Fortress in particular and just have an ANZC/Fortress circuit? How awesome would that be?
I wouldn't be surprised. That'd be cool. Yeah, if this LAN is successful, it's got good turnout, then there's no reason for them to not host it again. Obviously LANs are pretty costly, but if they have the facility and the partnership, that'll be amazing. Yeah.
Because I don't think about there's so much potential out of this, but at the end of the day, it was one of the boxes, or I forget what they called the at conventions when they talk about these issues. It's going to come back to me, but they had one of these discussions about if you had all the money in the world, we could do it esports. It's this is Australia's problem number one is that money matters so much for a lot of sustainable organizations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. People would love to host these lands, but it's just so costly and it's hard to get players to fly in because you can't really cover that extra cost unless you have sponsorships. So it all comes down to the sponsors you have. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I agree with Mav's commenting in chat as well. 100% agree with him. It's a costly tournament. It's so many logistics behind it in particular. was watching all the logistics coming in. I think it was like internet, TGX, it was the admin stuff, and like I was sitting there going like, yeah, dude, like it like everything half, like almost 3/4 of the cost is logistics basically.
Yeah. It's just production you got to think about, and then I don't know. But when it does happen, and even when some events aren't like they don't return the money that you receive, or like you don't have the sponsors, but they do happen, it's like the players are super, appreciative of it. It's like so fun to just be able to play at these events.
Yeah. And also, I got to like it with ANZC as well, because I actually highlighted this as well. A lot of people in house as well. So you got your Andrew, you got Wanda. He does these events as well. You got Mav. He's also in house as well. He does. He knows how to get. Oh wait, hang on. He knows how to get everything together. I mean, he's run so many events before. Like he's huge. I was watching him do his interviews and whatnot at DreamHack. I'm just sitting there going like, holy crap! Like I'm sitting there going like, dude, I haven't even thought about any of this crap yet. I was going to ask him like, how do you get the microphones and camera and whatnot to film my interviews instead of writing them. But like you got a lot of people in particular that have a lot of good set of skills and have actually applied them to international standard.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people have just the experience, and then we bring them together. The production level is just it makes it just so much more professional. So it's good to have those types of people working these events for sure.
Anyways, do you guys think you'll win that event?
Yeah, if we do, we'll be back to back, because technically there was already that ANZC champ. I mean, ANZC Red Bull at UTS event, or like with their facilities. So we're gonna be looking for that back to back, and we should be having our full team, which will be very exciting.
That'll be good. With Terry, did he wake up from Hollow Live?
Hopefully, if Terry can travel over, then that'll be sick.
It'll be good to finally meet Terry for me, because I meme on him in so much, but I've never met Terry, okay? Even when he was at Melbourne, okay? Nice. Okay? I met Banana, but I did not meet Terry, okay? I did not meet his partner in crime.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun being able to meet Banana, Terry, even Sunshines was there too. Just meeting all the players. It's really cool. Yeah.
Anyways, I think we'll cut it here. A nice little podcast in particular. What do you want to say to all your fans? You want to plug anything in particular? Want to announce anything? Eddie, have you got anything going on?
Well, to my fans, thank you so much for the support. Couldn't be doing this without you guys. Very lucky to have you guys in the community, and even my own community with like Twitch and just Twitter, all that type of stuff. So very much appreciate that. If you want to follow what I do, just check out the Twitter Bowser and Twitch Bowser0. Once my schedule clears up, I'll be streaming heaps again and just editing and all that. I just got a few things coming up that I have to get through. But yeah, appreciate everything.
Anyways, good luck for that as well, and I appreciate coming on here short notice.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. See you.
Thank you for hosting.
All right. See you later, guys, in chat. Really appreciate everyone in here as well. Deadshot, Mav as well, Foggers and stuff like that. Appreciate the raid as well, Foggers as well. Thank you guys for keeping this podcast on, I suppose, and really, really appreciate all the chatter as well, other than the Among Us ASCIIs that are pretty much R18. Sneaky.
Yeah, not good.
And also,
cheeky, sneaky. Also
appreciate yourself and Lady coming on as well for that impromptu questionnaire that I wasn't going to actually do, because I'm just like, sitting there going, do I do it or not? But anyways, guys.
That was fun. Yeah.
Have a great evening. See you guys later. Peace out. Bye.
Adios.